Welcome back. What a night, what a game, and what a qualification to the Champions League final for Inter. They beat Barcelona 7-6 on aggregate after a mad, crazy second leg semi-final in San Siro. The first leg was already impressive, 3-3 in Barcelona from last week, but the second leg was really out of this world, and it's not even easy to explain with words how good that game was. And there are so many talking points, from Inzaghi's decisions to Barcelona complaints to the way Inter managed to fight back all the times, even despite taking a 2-goal lead in the first leg and in the second leg. There are so many things to say, but what I want to start with is an inspiring story. I think the most inspiring story from this semi-final, which is the Francesco Acerbi story. Now, this guy, 37, scored his first Champions League goal last night, and this story itself is already impressive because he really couldn't have picked a better moment to score his first goal in the competition. But not many outside of Italy know that Acerbi is a cancer survivor. He's somebody who was diagnosed with a testicular cancer in 2013, shortly after his move to Sassuolo. And of course, from that moment, his perspective of life and secondarily, once he was cleared on the pitch, drastically changed and in some way helped him become an even better player. And I think his story really is an inspiring one, and is the most relevant from the Inter-Barcelona game, because it's something that really brings together two words that sometimes don't seem to understand each other, like normal people and footballers. Unfortunately, disease like those diagnosed to Acerbi are very, very common in today's life, and each one of us has issues with families or relatives regarding this huge problem. And Acerbi, in a recent interview from a couple of years ago, explained how the cancer helped him have a different view on life, first of all as a man, and then as a footballer on the pitch. So I want to go through this interview to start with this video before discussing the game itself, because I really think that the Acerbi story deserves a separate chapter. Interview with Gazzetta dello Sport, again, from a couple of years ago. Acerbi was diagnosed with testicular cancer twice in 2013, shortly after his move to Sassuolo. I repeated myself, I don't have fear, but then I understood that it was impossible not to have it. I was hiding inside myself. Now, once in a while, I still think, what happens if it comes back for a third time? And if it happens, I will be another challenge to win. Again, he said he does feel lucky because, of course, the first thing that you need in these cases is to be lucky. But he also reiterated how having professional support and having people close to him can really help in this very difficult path. I spoke to a psychologist, said Acerbi, after my two cancers. He explained to me how to react and how to take a step forward. It is important to have a few people around you, 2 or 3 who you can really trust. It's important to understand what you really want from life, and it doesn't matter if you play or not, your time will come sooner or later. Acerbi even said that if he wasn't for the cancer, he would have retired, and when he was 28, or he would have had a very different career. Once upon a time, I thought I would play 50 years at Milan at a high level. He's a former Milan player, but his move to Milan probably didn't come at the right time, as he also admitted. Today, I say no. Without cancer, I would have retired at 28. Perhaps I would be in Serie B at Cittadella, but with my cancer, my real life began, giving me a second chance. So I really do think that this is a story that must be shared, not much because of the player, but much more because of what this means for all these people that are facing this disease, which again are unfortunately really, really common in today's life. And I think it's really inspiring to see that Acerbi have come all this way to become a better man and a very good footballer who has really reached the top of his career when he was 37, and yesterday was probably one of the best performances in his career, even if, he's been very popular in Italy in recent years, because when Inter met Manchester City, for example, in the Champions League final in 2023, but also during a recent Champions League game in this season, he managed to nullify Erling Haaland and leave him without goals in both legs, which is something that not many defenders can say. So really well done to Francesco Acerbi, and I thought it was the right thing to start with this story before briefly talking about the game. And in terms of the game, I think really Inter deserved to qualify. It could have gone both ways, really. But Inter took the lead twice for 2 goals, both in Barcelona and then in Milan as well. And if you look at the two fixtures, Barcelona had the lead over Inter for just 5 minutes, across 90 minutes in Barcelona and 120 minutes in San Siro. The 5 minutes between Rafinha's goal and Acerbi's equalizer. So this alone, I think, explains pretty well why Inter deserved to qualify. But I think there is even more, because Inter proved to be more complete than Barcelona. They proved to have more keys and more weapons to beat their opponents. They know how to sit deep, they know how to press high, play with the ball and build up from the back, or even try to attack with long balls. They did it all against Barcelona across the two legs. Barcelona, they have remarkable quality. They have more quality than Inter, and probably more quality than any other team in Europe, but they have just one way to defend, just one way to play, which is not at all defensive. They just need to attack, and this is something that in the end it didn't. They paid a high price for, because they conceded Acerbi's goal, which came from a remarkable work on the ball from Marcus Thuram, remarkable assist from Denzel Dumfries, and even the finish from Francesco Acerbi was the one of a striker. It's not something that you expect from a centre back. Even Thierry Henry was surprised by his goal. He said, "What was he doing? What was he doing there?" It's the way Inter played against Barcelona. It's something that really explains how strong the Nerazzurri are, because they can do everything. And on the other hand, Barcelona, they didn't understand the right moments in the game. I didn't quite like Hansi Flick's substitution of Ferran Torres, not because Ferran Torres needed not to be substituted, but because he made an attacking substitution, introducing Robert Lewandowski with just a few minutes left to be played, and it should have taken a more cautious approach, in my opinion. It should have been more in control of the game, knowing that Barcelona just needed to take this game to the end, even with a more defensive approach, which is, to be fair, not too much in their nature, but they are professional footballers, so I think they can defend for 5 minutes if they take the lead in such an important game. It didn't happen. They continue to press high. They continue to attack, even if they were leading by 1 goal for the first time across the two legs, and they paid a high price for it. And I think that the Inter performance, and especially the Barcelona performance, is a valuable lesson for Arsenal or PSG. One of the two will meet Inter in the final on May 31. It's a valuable lesson because they need to understand if they want to beat Inter, which is going to be really, really tough, because they have experience, they have strength, and they have an incredible organization as a team. But any opponent facing Inter need to know that they can't have just one playing style, especially if he's super attacking. They need to be cautious at times and know that Inter will strongly push and counterattack really quickly, trying to score goals and to hurt them as many times as they can. They have ruthless strikers in attack as well, with Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. Even the substitutes in attack did well yesterday, especially Taremi, who got the assist for Davide Frattesi. So really, the Inter playing style is a complete playing style, which confirms the Nerazzurri are one of the best sides and most complete sides in Europe, while others, they're really strong perhaps in attack. They have strong individualities, but they don't have probably the same organization. So if they want to be on par with Inter, they need to be just as organized and make sure that they don't just attack, because otherwise Inter are going to find the key to win the game. And to me, whoever qualifies between Arsenal and PSG for the Champions League final, Inter will always be the favorite because of all these I said now. Inter have already beaten Arsenal in the league phase and Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, and their organization and their collective play really is outstanding to me and proves that they the team to beat in Europe this season. I hope you like this video. There will be more coming up, especially one on Thursday from the Stadio Franchi for Fiorentina Real Betis second leg of the Conference League semi-finals. I'll be there to cover the game, and I'll comment on it after the final whistle. So keep in touch if you like this video and you want to see more Serie A football and Italian contents. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back super soon. Thank you very much for following me as usual. We speak soon. Bye.